This week we look at whether economic inequality or in some cases poverty is actually a security issue. So like all of the topics that we're looking at, the way you approach this will depend also on the theory that you look at. So something like realism or a traditional security approach, probably economic inequality doesn't even particularly come into it. It might be a reality of life. However, military threat and state-based threats do not really take into account how a state is broken down or what type of inequalities or internal issues might exist. However, a critical approach, which could range from a human security approach to a constructivist approach, post-structuralist, and I think I've already mentioned human security, might all take into account economic inequalities for different reasons. Now, if you're looking at securitization or desecuritization, you could even argue that ideas like inequality and poverty are constructed according to political elites and how it suits them to look at it. So it might actually suit a certain team to take poverty off the security agenda, particularly if you're in, say, a failed state which is struggling to take care of your own internal population. You may not, in fact, want it to be considered by outside nations particularly to be an issue or to be something that a state might have to fix or address. On the other hand, something like post-structuralism might actually even question and deconstruct the idea of poverty. What is poverty? Who decides who is poor and who is rich, and what these categories are? Who does it serve? Does it serve anyone's power interest to look at poverty in this way? Now, some of the reasons why people might want to look at poverty is a security issue is if you find that it has links to ideas such as organised crime and trafficking, and this usually falls fairly squarely within the human security arena, which is concerned not so much by the interests of the state or only particular groups or one narrow group in society, but looking at an issue that might impact large groups of individuals at one time and therefore can be considered a security issue through that particular lens. So please join in this week, depending on what your last name is, and contribute to the debate, and ideally have a look at one of the readings. So my few minutes is only a way to direct you and to get the conversation started. You can even challenge what I've talked about here. It's just a way to give you some ideas and to encourage you to start thinking about how you can combine theory with examples or issues for our future assessment. Thanks, everybody.